Hey YouTubers, this is Larry Joe with Larry Joe Guitars. Today I wanted to address the user at b.tee.2600 who had asked several questions about my playing style, and there's one thing I mentioned in one of my videos where I'd mentioned how I was doing the different scales and everything, and I guess it caught on him as interesting, and he asked some questions about it. There was several different little questions in there that I was trying to narrow down exactly what he wanted. I think I know what he wants, so I wanted to do this video for him, and I'm going to put his name in there. I did one for Panther Coast. I mean, this small channel, I don't mind as long as I can find time to do it. I haven't had a chance to do several other videos that I wanted to do, but this one still scratches the back of my head because I'm like, I'm not getting exactly maybe what he wanted, and it seemed like he had a lot of energy and initiative to try to figure it out, and I appreciate that. I do appreciate that. I sent a link to one of the videos that I made about some of the mechanics of how I play and stuff. That got absolutely the most dislikes ever of all my videos. So I don't always want to teach any kind of instructional stuff, because my style is just thrown together of stuff I learned over the years. I've never sat with anybody and they're like, hey, play this, hey, play this, hey, play this, and they taught me and could correct any of the errors that I had, right? So it's a hodgepodge of playing style, right? But it suits me, and I like the way I play. So this is to you, BT 2600. Let's go with scales. Okay, I used to do all the scales. Okay, I used to do, and today I have my my Dean copy, I guess you could say, of the Firefly Southern Cross. I put EMGs into it. Sounds great, plays great, everything's good with it. I really like it. We're going to be using that. I have my little Vox here. I don't have my my Spark Positive Grid Spark Go, but this one sounds pretty good, and I recorded a lot of my original videos with that sound of that amp. It's just sitting right there. Anyways, so let's go through just scales. So I'd mentioned in a couple of my videos, I used to just do it's not even the exact scale, it's not even the exact scale, but what I was trying to do is not follow the exact scale and just be able to get my fingers to move the way that I wanted, and across the four spots, but 3 frets. So, and I do a hammer on. And then I do a pull off. Not too bad. Anyways, so I like practicing that all over. I'm not going to turn the volume back on just so you can hear me do the runs, but I just practice that. That's just playing the notes. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I open it up with just the open string. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I play alternating picks just because it's just more efficient that way. But you could do downstrokes and then I could just hammer on each one of them. Like that, and the point that I was trying to make originally in that video was, I was sitting there, I was trying to follow at least some scales with doing it, without just jumping back and forth across the fretboard. And anyways, I didn't want to do that because that seemed easier, but I know I'm trying to follow what I think the books would say when I was reading the books in high school and everything. And then I see Dime play, and this is not a lick of his. This is just my interpretation of a lick, okay? And he'd be like, it's almost like he'd pick a little position here between the three or four frets wherever he was, and then he would just go across the fretboard, right? Not even thinking of, okay, it's A, B, whatever it is. And because I was doing right, trying to follow maybe the a little bit of scales. I've never been great at scales just because I've seen a lot of people play the scales perfectly, and that doesn't sound interesting to me. That doesn't, when I hear those scales, I'm like, okay, but that doesn't sound interesting. It doesn't grab me, you know. So that's why when I saw Dime just tearing into the leads, and I'm like, holy cow, he's doing all this stuff. And like I said, he'll take one position, just go across the fretboard, just go do whatever he's doing, whether it's some kind of scale or it's just hammer-ons or just whatever he's doing, right? And I'm like, holy cow. But that opened it up for me. And with that, like I said, I started practicing more and more and more. And then I just getting the four, or I could do alternating pick, however you want to do it, and that's what I always do. Whether it's scales or not, it's probably not, but it's in between scales and on scales and all over the scales. But to me, that's what sounds interesting. And I can't say a ton about my technique because I do it and it's how I feel when I play, so I can't narrow it down and say exactly how I do it. But a lot of the stuff when I'm doing the scales, it's how you hold your hand. In fact, Dime, whenever he was going through the different scales or whatever, in fact, he even said he hates scales and doesn't follow scales. I remember reading a Guitar for the Practicing Musician book way back when, and he said he hated scales, but yeah, he would place his finger behind the fretboard like that as like an anchor, and then he would do, or you could do, leave your finger up there, but for some of the intricate parts, it's you almost have to put your thumb behind it there. Better way of showing it. You have to put your thumb behind there, and then, you know, I mean, go like that, right? And one of the things that I remember too is I remember seeing a video on what was it, MTV back in the day. I think it was Death Angel. And I remember he'd make like a bar chord, and then he would just play the lead through it. See, I'm kind of crapping it up because that's really tough to hold it across one fret like that, and then across the whole fretboard, and then you have to move between it. But when I saw him do that, I was like, wow, how can he do that? How I forget his name, but the main guitarist. But I saw him doing that several times in different positions and everything, just playing the lead like that and still keeping that first finger up, like, oh my God. And I did one video to where originally when I saw that, I didn't have very good control over my pinky. So I did one video to where I got a rubber band tied around my pinky right there, and then I just played through whatever scale is there or whatever. And I think seeing that was probably the biggest influence for that. And if you want to see that video, check it out or let me know and I can put it in the comment. But looks like the battery's almost dead, but we're not overheating, so let's go a couple more minutes. One of the things that I do a lot is I do the bends, right? Just a vibrato. But one thing you got to know when you do that, or any of the different, you always have your your index finger, which I'm still talking about, is sort of like an anchor. And when you vibrato, you still got that index finger as an anchor to move around, see? And I don't want to go too much deep into it. I'm going to have too many guys out there who say, man, you suck. Everything you're saying is completely wrong. You're missing all the scales. And I'm okay with criticism. I'm not going to answer them back unless they're positive, like normal. But I want to do this for the, I forgot it, at B.TEE.2600. And I'm going to put his name in the description, just like I did Panther Coast, the other guy that hits me up. I like Mad Hatter and those guys. They're always creative. Thank you for always subscribing and watching my videos and saying, hey man, you're pretty good or whatever. Just positivity, you know. And that's why I really, everybody's going to want to say bad things about stuff that they don't like, right? Okay, so that's one of the reasons they have the comments. People can say what they want, maybe it's constructive or whatever, and it's all good. But if you're not constructive in leaving comments, then I'm not going to answer any of them. I'm not going to put energy into it. So yeah, so this is for the, I keep forgetting, B.T.2600. I'm hoping this helped at least a little bit with my technique. For me, I'm so used to the playing that I don't think about it too much. I think a lot of guys, maybe guys like me that are not completely, you know, like musically trained to do this stuff, that they learn it the best way that they can, and maybe it's wrong and maybe it's not perfect, but it works for them and they still do it. So this is definitely for that guy and for you, the guys out there like me that are not musically trained. But I like music. I like music and I like playing, and I love guitars, obviously. So if you're watching this video, thanks for watching. Check out my other videos. You might like them. It's a whole bunch of different guitars that I have that are reviewed. I don't have all of them anymore. I sell what I need to get another project or whatever. I think some of the guys that do that stuff and make videos understand that aspect. But yeah, I have a ton of videos if you want to check them out, or however you want, reply to this and make a comment and tell me what you think. 2600 dude, hit me up, tell me if this is what you were looking at, questions about this, what I'm talking about, or you want more. I have no problems with it, but like I said, I get a lot of negative stuff because of it, because I don't play like a lot of guys do. But it's my style and I like it, and I've tried to not copy other styles most of my adult life since I've started playing. Anyways, thanks for everything, all your support, guys, and I hope this helps 2600. Of course, Atari 2600 I associate because I'm an old guy. Anyways, thanks for your time and have a good night. Take care. This will work.